Hey, what's up, Shrinkkeepers, and welcome back to my channel. And today we are very honored to actually have Yeng here with us. However, before we start this video, we actually wanted to give a special shout out to Corey, who has given us this t-shirt. You know, it's a very nice t-shirt. It says, "Enjoy nature daily." So I think that is one of the very important things that in terms of aquarium hobbies, and this is something that we actually like in terms of our own nature. So thank you very much, Corey, for giving us this and this box. This what we call this containers that actually you can actually put this outside the tanks over here to actually scoop the streams or fishes, and you can actually look through them as well. So thank you very much for that. So now coming back to this topic, Yeng, I think we should let you introduce yourself and then share with us some of the things that, in terms of the stream breeding journey, what you have learned over here, why are you going to do something that you're going to do in future?
Yep.
Yeah, maybe we can start off with that.
Okay. Yep. So hi, I'm Yeng. I'm from Wisconsin, United States. Right. It's a pleasure to have me here. I want to thank again all the breeders that were able to show me around and show me the setups and see how you guys do it over here compared to how we do it in the United States. We know everybody has different challenges everywhere, but it was really eye-opening to see what you guys have and what we have as well.
Yeah, I think some of the challenges that we have that you guys don't have and you guys have that we don't have as well. Right.
And what I kind of learned here was to see how Benny and a lot of the other breeders have their all setups all completely from their infrastructures, like how Benny has talked before, that having everything correctly set up first makes it so much more easier, And to see all of that, especially from the way Benny and everybody have their plumbing and their top off and drainage for water change to make it so much more easier, that's one thing that was really eye-opening for me wise as well.
Okay. So what would you do differently when you head back to the US?
Okay. In the US, I know I've told Benny before, I've only, when I first set up, I was gung-ho, I was excited. I went 2 racks. I have tanks on there. There's 25 tanks on my 2 racks. I only did partial top off and drainage on some of them. So, and then, time kind of fell apart, So I think seeing how they do it here, and Benny was telling me the process, how they do it here, how you guys take time. And you guys plan first, and I should have done a better job planning.
Planning.
And I think you're right. I think if I would have done a better job planning, having everything set up correctly first, and then going into it would have been a lot easier.
Yeah. I think that is one of the learnings that I have learned myself as well, because every time when we start to do some changes and improvement, then we thought that, we should have done a better planning. But I think that is also inevitable, right? Because people are very excited. They are, they cannot contain the excitement. They want to quickly get it out there, buy some tanks, put some water, and put some streams in there. So over time, I think even with all this stream breeding experience and past experience in breeding fishes, like Yeng has actually shared with us that he has a lot of experience in breeding fishes, and that actually helps in terms of all your water parameters. You understand what is required. The planning phase actually is one of the more critical things, and I wish I would have somebody would have told me this when I first started, but I may not even listen, because I'm like I say, a lot of people are very excited about having the tanks and streams all in there. But thinking back, I think that is one of the more critical steps that we should have taken to make it better. So that's something I think, you have got some of this information. Definitely, what would you do differently when you go back in terms of infrastructure?
Okay. My first goal was to make sure I complete my 100% when it comes to redoing my whole rack. What I mean by that is making sure that I have auto top off and my water change system kind of set up the way they do it here. I want to make sure I have that 100%, so that way it will be much easier for myself as well. You know, we all work, so
Yeah.
this is something that will make it a little easier in ourselves as well, and
Yeah.
daily life as well.
Yeah. So I think those time savings, you could have saved so much time that you can do a lot of other things, like taking care of your family, doing your grocery runs and
Yep.
things like that, right? So I think the second thing, what are some of the system and processes that you would have, I mean, you have learned over here that you would implement back at home?
I think seeing how you guys do a lot more, I won't say high tech, but a lot more different things to kind of control all your parameters that are the same, you know, in the tanks. And Benny showed me how I was scooping up shrimp and I was putting them into his tanks, and we didn't drip acclimate or anything because all the parameters are the same, because they're able to test all the waters with the what do you call those? The temperature.
Like
Sensors and stuff. So then
right.
they can control all of that. So he could see that everything like that was already set up, and it really helped them. And it was a shock to me to just take the shrimp, you know, and just throw them. You know, some of my tanks are the same parameter, but not always. But the biggest thing is temperature, you know.
Yeah.
But if the temperature difference, then yes, we would definitely drip them for sure, and then to put them in. So
yeah. Then you know, Yeng actually helped me with moving some of the streamlets. So what are the learnings that you have got from that?
What I learned is that I've always taken the offsprings out later when they're a little bit grown up. But Benny had me take all of them out. So he's like, you know, just take them all out, you know. And I think that was a little different, you know. But I do see why, you know, why he did it that way, and why, you know, I go back and I look at it. I'm like, I should have been doing it that way as well. Should take them out earlier, because you're right. From just a little small age, it can definitely make a big difference, especially where we're trying to go with the quality and the quantity of the shrimp that we have.
Right. Yeah. So even very small. So I get a lot of questions around how big should I remove the streams, or no, how big or how small. It depends on how you want to phrase the question. Whatever you can see, you just net them out, put it in the grow up tank, so you don't have to worry about whether down the line, if you're too busy with your family matters or your work, you don't have to worry about saying, oh, I need to allocate time to actually net them out, because they are already close to 0.8 cm is where they will start to breed. So just move them out. You don't have to worry. Then you can keep going on and moving forward. So I think that's something that we do slightly differently in terms of the system and processes.
Yep.
So moving on to the next topic we want to discuss about is about streams, and what are some of the things that you see differently and you would have done differently when you go back?
To kind of see one thing that I remember here that's so much more different than what I did was I was just so used to doing just 3 tanks, you know. For example, like for my boas, I would just do a main tank, grow tank, and a call tank. And to see the way they do it here with keeping my main line, so keeping my main tank, my breeding tank, and then taking the offsprings and going into not just 1 tank, but maybe 2 tanks. So in case emergency, if something did happen in 1 tank,
correct,
and they started not breeding, I would definitely be able to have another tank that is ready as well, with the same offsprings that had came out from there as well. So, and you know, even we all struggle. You know, sometimes they just don't breed, and it happens. You know.
Yeah. So I think one of the critical things that we often do differently is, instead of just having 1 grow up tank, we can have multiple grow up tanks. And then from there we will do the selection, because we never know what will happen to the grow up tank, and not necessarily all the tanks has to be done through selective breeding. Like for example, a lot of the tanks we do have here, we have deep blue boats. You have seen the deep blue boats. They are not so-called selectively bred because they are already that color. What we do is that instead of bringing down, of course we do we take the babies out and then put it in but we do have more tanks of the same type. Yeah, just in case, like you mentioned, just in case there's any emergencies, we still have some stock streams that we can still continue on the line. Because if not, then what are you going to do with all males or all females? It's not going to work out.
And another thing too was the thin layer. I've always done in the past. I've done UGFs. I've done matte filters. I've done different techniques for different tanks. But to see how they only do like 3 cups. American wise, we say well, roughly about 3 cups of just soil, thin soil, and it's eye-opening. You don't really need as much soil as you think you do. And it really does help.
Right. So very good. Yeng, so maybe some advice for us, for the audience. What would you share with them if a new breeder wants to come into this hobby? What would you share with them?
I would say that for new breeders, I've gotten people reach out to me before as well, and my big thing is make sure you do your research too. It goes both ways. I can help. We can all kind of help out as much as we can.
Yep.
But at the same time, you gotta do your due diligence of making sure you look up your research. And it is not just going to be like your fish, where you're going to go aquarium and cycle your tank, throw your fish in, and you're okay. You have to buy your GH conditioners, you have to buy your TDS, you have to get your buffering soil, which not everybody thinks that you need it, but you got to think about it. You got to really get all of that as well. And my biggest important, I think, message I want to give out to that is, even for my case, I was lucky enough to get a really good mentor. So. I found somebody in my state, Chor. He was my mentor. He helped me through all of that stuff. And I think finding somebody that can mentor you or help out, like even Benny, I consider Benny a good mentor too, to kind of help me learn all this has also improved my knowledge. And I can share that with new breeders as well.
Right. And what about those who are already in the hobby, and what would you advise them?
Yep. My big thing is for anybody that's been in the hobby already that don't be afraid to reach out, to each other. I think we kind of know that sometimes it's hard to reach out to breeders, but definitely reach out to all of us. Anybody we can definitely reach out. Everybody has things differently. They do things differently, but it sometimes change is okay.
Yep.
Like I'm changing to the thin soil, and I like it. It's I was afraid at first, but it works. And I like it. So much easier to cycle, so much easier to reset and everything else. So it's not as much work. And so change is always not bad, but it's also good as well, right?
Yeah.
And to really do your due diligence, especially in America here now that in the past we really didn't have quality shrimp. And that's the biggest thing that I always said about being able to import now. I think with so many more breeders bringing in quality shrimp, it comes back down to the breeders to really do their part in doing the selective breeding. Because if you don't do that, it doesn't matter. That now that we have quality shrimp, it's only going to set us back again because all the new hobbyists are excited now and they're going to buy expensive shrimp, but they're just going to let them breed and not worry about calling and doing that part. And it's only going to set us back again.
So maybe coming back to the question on the comment on change, what do you think that people are afraid of change?
Because they're so used to certain ways. Like I said, even myself, I've been doing it for. I only like certain things because I'm like, oh, that worked well for me. But don't be afraid to change. Like I said, seeing how they do it here, seeing how you guys do things differently, has definitely changed my perspective a little as well. It's also given me different ideas on how I can change to improve my breeding method and being myself. I want to be a better breeder, so I want to make sure that I take all of that and incorporate in what.
Yeah. Do you think that breeders are afraid of change because the change may kill their streams? Yes,
I think so. I agree. I think everybody's afraid of that, especially with more expensive shrimp. Like you're always afraid of.
So it's like more of fear of the unknown.
Yes.
Fear of the unknown until they have seen it, that it works. Then they are more receptive to actually make the change.
Yeah. Right. So like I could say one thing is how simple they keep it here. Like Benny can and all the other breeders here that I've seen, very simple, thin layer, one plant, maybe in the tank, and shrimp. So much easier. You can see everything. You can
see everything.
And even I told Benny, I've even gone away from almond leaves. They don't use that all the time. I don't even use any of that anymore. But change was hard.
Change is hard. Yeah, change is hard. I think change is one of the things that prevent a lot of good breeders from progressing in their hobby. So I think at some time at some point of time, I think change is necessary to move forward.
Yes.
Yeah. And change is hard.
It is hard.
It is hard. And I always believe that if you do it the right way, you earn it. And if you earn it, you keep it.
Yep.
I think first time right, I think that's awesome.
Yep.
But if people wants to, like deviate and wants to always do the easy stuff,
Yes.
that is gonna set them back.
Yes, that would definitely set them back.
Yeah. So thanks, thanks Yeng for coming to Singapore. It's a real honor for me to actually host you here. Definitely, it also give me some idea on what the U.S. market is.
Yep.
Definitely. Welcome you back again.
Yep.
And I hope and I wish you all the best in terms of your your changes, your infrastructure. Do update me, update so that we can also share with the rest of the audience who are interested in your setup as well. Definitely, thank you very much for coming here.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody again. It's a great honor to have Benny host us in beautiful country, and I really enjoy my stay here for sure, Benny.
Right. So thank you guys for watching this video. And those who are new to this video, please remember to subscribe. And those who like this video, please remember to give a thumbs up. And until next time,